Dear Jadhav from Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik 2. Students, in the previous lecture, we have been learned non-linear response function, weighted regression analysis, chemical assay, receptor binding assay, etc. Student, in today's lecture, we discuss selectivity and specificity and also chromatographic methods. First, selectivity and specificity. Selectivity describes the ability of analytical method to differentiate various substances in the sample and is applicable to methods in which two or more components are separated and quantitated in a complex matrix. Thus, the term selectivity is appropriately applied to chromatographic techniques in which the components of a mixture are physically separated from each other. Selectivity may also be used to describe spectroscopic or spectrophotometric methods in which separate signals are obtained for the different components in a mixture. In contrast, selectivity specifies sorry selectivity specificity describes the ability of the method to measure unequivocally the analyte of interest in the presence of all other components which may be expected to be present. Thus, the term specificity is appropriately applied to analytical techniques in which only a single parameter can be measured. Examples include the measurement of radioactivity in a radioimmunoassay or the volume of titrant in a titration. The selectivity or the specificity of a method is compromised by the presence of potential interferences including related compounds such as degradants, metabolites, impurities, etc., and components of the matrix such as formulation, excipients, endogenous substances, etc. Next, chromatographic methods. The selectivity of a chromatographic methods may be defined by the use of relative retention indices, of which the most widely used is the selectivity factor alpha. Therefore, selectivity factor alpha is equal to small k dash 2 upon small k dash 2, where the capacity ratio of a given P k dash I is related to its retention time T, Ti, and the time for an unretained compounds to elute T0. By equation Ki is equal to Ti upon T0 minus 1. This is equation number 2.46. And selectivity factor alpha k dash 2 upon k dash 2, this equation is 2.45. Substituting equation 2.45 into equation 2.46 gives alpha is equal to T2 minus T0 upon T1 minus T0, equation 2.47. Chromatographic resolution is also affected by column efficiency, which is usually defined by the number of theoretical plates n, capital N. The number of theoretical plate, capital N, is equal to Ti upon sigma I square. Equation 2.49. Equation 2.48. Since the width of Gaussian peak at its base Wi correspond to approximately 4 sigma, the number of theoretical plates may be calculated from n is equal to 16 into Ti upon Wi square. This sigma I is replaced by 4 Wi. Therefore, this equation modifies into n is equal to 16 into Ti upon Wi square. This is equation number 2.49. Therefore, number of theoretical plate n is equal to 16 into Ti upon Wi square. Measurement of Wi according to equation 2.49 requires extrapolation of tangent drawn at the inflection point on the trailing and leading edges of peak to the baseline, which is subject to error. This has led to an alternative form of equation 2.49, which relies measurement of peak width at half height W.5, that is equation 2.90. Equation 2.50. By using this, we calculate number of theoretical plate. This is graph parameter for the calculation of chromatographic resolution, detector response versus time t in second, t0 70 second and t1 210 second, t2 230 second. This is next graph. Here W half, that is peak width of half height. This is W.5. This means peak width at half height, it is 2.9 second. Peak width at half height 2.9 second, h1 half. Peak width at half height h1 h half. W1 here 8.4 second. This is W1, that is peak width. W1 for peak 1 8.4 second and W2 9.2 second. This is peak width W2, second peak. This is first peak. This is second peak. This is peak height H. Detector response versus time in second. Here number of theoretical plate N is equal to 5.54 upon Ti upon W peak width at half height. Peak width at half height square. N is equal to 5.54 into Ti upon peak width at half height square. This is equation 2.50. For Gaussian peaks, equation 2.49, this is equation 2.49 and equation 2.50, this equation 2.50 are equivalent. However, for peaks that are significantly asymmetric, then equation 2.50 for asymmetric peak, then equation 2.50 tend to underestimate the true column efficiency because peak tailing and fronting affect the base of peak to a greater extent than the center. Because of for asymmetric peak underestimate the true column efficiency because peak tailing and fronting affect the base of the peak to greater extent than the center. This equation 2.49 and 2.50, that is this N is equal to 16 into Ti upon Wi square and N is equal to 5.54 into Ti upon width at half peak W 0.5 square. This equation 2.49 and 2.50 are the definitions of column efficiency preferred by the United States Pharmacopoeia. The British Pharmacopoeia (BP) and the European Pharmacopoeia define the column efficiency in terms of the number of theoretical plates per unit column length in plates per meter. Small n by British Pharmacopoeia and European Pharmacopoeia, number of theoretical plate per unit column length, small n is equal to capital N upon L is equal to 5.54 upon L into Ti upon peak width at half height square. The resolution of two component in a mixture is defined in the United States Pharmacopoeia. This figure 2.6, here the resolution of two component in a mixture. Resolution of two component in a mixture, and it is defined in the United States Pharmacopoeia and in the British Pharmacopoeia and European Pharmacopoeia by equation 2.52 and 2.53 respectively. Here the resolution RS is equal to twice into T2 minus T1 upon W2 plus W1. Here T2 This is T2 230 second and T1 210 second, and this is W1 8.4 second and W2 9.2 second. And resolution is equal to 1.18 T2 minus T1 upon at peak width at half height, W into 0.5.2 plus W 0.5, not here, sorry, resolution is equal to 1.18 T2 minus T1 upon W 0.5.2 plus W 0.5.1. This is equation 2.53. The differences in these two equations arise from the different ways in which the width of the peaks are measured. The United States Pharmacopoeia, that is USP, preferring the width at the base, and the British Pharmacopoeia, that is BP, and the European Pharmacopoeia, that is EP, preferring the width at half height. As with the measurement of column efficiency, the two methods for calculations of resolution are equivalent if peak are Gaussian. But the United States Pharmacopoeia approach, equation 2.52, this is equation 2.52, is less susceptible to errors arising from the peak asymmetry than the British Pharmacopoeia or European Pharmacopoeia approaches. That is equation 2.53. This is resolution in case of British Pharmacopoeia and European Pharmacopoeia approaches. Errors arising from the manual measurement of column efficiency and resolution may be reduced by the automatic calculation of these parameters using commercial chromatographic software. However, the analyst should be familiar with the algorithms used because different software packages can give different results. This is a particular problem when transferring chromatographic methods between laboratories. Here all these explanation in this paragraph I already talked. Figure 2.17, that is this figure 2.17 shows the effect of resolution on the detectability of secondary component. This figure 2.17 shows the effect of resolution on the detectability of secondary components eluting close to a major component. If the resolution is equal to or greater than 2, then the trace component is detectable at all concentrations. However, if the separation if the separation only slightly, then resolution is less than 2, then the detectability of the secondary component become a function of its concentration. As the resolution approaches a value of 1, impurities present at 0.5% or less are indistinguishable from the peak tail. The problem associated with the detection of trace impurities shown in figure 2.17. In this figure, the problem associated with the detection of trace impurities are shown. These problems are accentuated by any tailing of the major components. Consequently, the preferred elution order in trace analysis in liquid chromatography is one in which the minor component elute before the major component. This problem are in liquid chromatography solved by tailing of major component. That is, the preferred elution order in trace analysis in liquid chromatography is one in which the minor component elute before the major components. The use of peak separation index, that is S, the use of peak separation index, capital S, represent a useful alternative to resolution for the description of chromatographic or electrophoretic separation. This empirical approach is particularly useful for situations where one or both of the peaks are asymmetric and has been widely used for the optimization of chiral separations and trace analysis. The peak separation index approach is based on the relative depth of valley between two adjacent peaks. This separation index S is equal to A upon A plus B into 100. This is equation 2.54. Separation index S, capital S is equal to A upon capital A plus B into 100. Two approaches have been described for the calculation of the parameter A and B in figure 2.18. This is figure 2.18 for calculation of peak separation index S. Here peak separation indices, this figure 1 and figure 2, here figure 1 and figure 2. 1 is suitable for separation of two components present in similar proportion and 2 is more suitable for trace component. This is for trace component and this figure for similar proportion component present in similar proportion and is for trace components. The first approach which is preferred for separation of two components present in similar proportion involves drawing a line perpendicular to the x-axis. Drawing a line perpendicular to x-axis, here drawing a line perpendicular this x-axis. through the minimum to through the minimum to intersect a tangent drawn between the apices of two peaks perpendicular to the x-axis through a minimum to intersect a tangent drawn between the apices of two peaks. The tangent drawn between the apices of two peaks. For trace analysis, this diagram, for trace analysis, drawing a tangent between between the apices of the two peaks is difficult, so a line is drawn parallel to the baseline. The line is drawn parallel to the baseline here. Here for trace analysis there is no two clear peaks. Therefore line is drawn parallel to the baseline. Therefore line is drawn parallel to the baseline through the apex of the minor peak. To intersect, a line drawn through the valley perpendicular to the valley perpendicular to the x-axis. This is line drawn through the valley perpendicular through the x-axis. Although these approaches are useful to assess the quality of a chromatographic separation, excessive tailing of peaks is indicative of poor chromatography. Excessive tailing of peaks is indicative of poor chromatography, which can lead to unreliable integration of peak areas and poor precision. The USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, British Pharmacopoeia and European Pharmacopoeia define the tailing factor capital T. Therefore, capital T is equal to peak width at half height or W 0.05 upon twice F 0.05, where this W 0.05 is the width of the peak at 5% of the height. This W 0.05 is the width of the peak at 5% of the height, and F is measured according to figure 2.19. F is measured according to figure 2.19. This parameter for the calculation of peak asymmetry. By using this figure, F is measured. The pharmacopoeial definition of the tailing factor varies slightly from the classical definition of the peak asymmetry factor. H, which is generally measured at 10% of the peak height and is given by capital A S is equal to small g 0.1 upon F 0.1 is equal to small w 0.1 minus F 0.1 upon f.1. This is equation 2.56. This is peak height. This is peak asymmetry factor. Peak asymmetry factor is equal to g.1 upon f.1 is equal to w.1 minus f.1 upon f.1. This is peak asymmetry factor. Here height, peak width height 0.95 h, peak trailing edge, peak front leading edge, and this is detector response versus time graph. F 0.05 and G 0.05. This is total width 0.05. Both the peak tailing factor capital T and asymmetry factor, that is AS, this is asymmetry factor and peak tailing factor capital T have values of 1 for perfectly symmetrical peaks, values of greater than 1 for tail peaks and less than 1 for fronted peaks. One value perfectly symmetrical peaks, greater than 1 tail peaks and less than 1 fronted peaks. It should be noted that the scientists Foley and Dorsey have recommended the use of equation 2.57 for the precise calculation of column efficiency, which includes a correction for peak asymmetry. This is equation for peak asymmetry, column efficiency, calculation for column efficiency, equation 2.57 for the precise calculation of column efficiency, which is correction of peak asymmetry, and this equation according to Foley and Dorsey. N this symmetric N is equal to 41.7 into Ti upon W.1 comma I square bracket the square upon asymmetric factor plus 1.25. Column efficiency N is equal to 41.7 into in bracket Ti upon W.1 comma I square upon asymmetric factor plus 1.25. The selectivity of chromatographic methods and other techniques such as mass spectrometry are normally assessed by spiking experiments, in which the analyte and all known or suspected potential interferences are added to the sample matrix, a placebo at appropriate concentrations. The spike placebo is then compared with the representative blanks. The elution times of all significant compounds are then recorded, and the resolution of the critical pair or pairs of peaks determined. The critical pair or pairs are then used to set the limit for the resolution checks to be used as part of the system suitability test. The main problem in the determination of assay selectivity and specificity arises from unknown interferences that are present in this test sample, but not in the placebo. Thus, the determination of peak homogeneity plays a key role in the assessment of chromatographic selectivity, whereas the mass spectrometer provides a very high degree of selectivity in gas chromatography. The diode array, the diode array detector DAD, the diode array detector DAD, and the use of spectral deconvolution techniques are the principal tools for the determination of peak purity in liquid chromatography. Unfortunately, spectral deconvolution requires that the UV visible spectra of the co-eluting peaks be different, and commercially available systems are generally incapable of detecting any co-eluting interferences that is present at concentrations much less than 1%. With the increasing availability of reliable interfaces on lines, mass spectrometric detection is expected to play an increasingly important role in the determination of peak purity in liquid chromatography. This is binding curves for the radioimmunoassay of thyroid releasing hormone analog, that is capital TA 01910 in buffer and plasma, reproduced from permission from Elsewhere Science. Buffer and rat plasma binding curve for radioimmunoassay of thyroid releasing hormone analog TA 01910. This showing buffer and dark round showing red plasma B upon B0 in percentage B upon B0 in percentage upon spike amount of TA, that is thyroid releasing hormone analog, and this is binding curve B upon B0 in percentage binding curve for the radioimmunoassay of thyroid releasing hormone analog 0910. Here 01910, and here I think there is a mistake 0910, and here they write 01910. The specificity of immunoassay and other receptor binding assays is determined in same way as the selectivity of chromatographic methods, by spiking experiment and by comparison with the appropriate blanks. For example, figure 2.20 shows this figure 2.20 shows the receptor binding curve for assay of thyroid releasing hormone analog TA01910 in buffer and rat plasma, showing the absence of interference from the matrix. The problem of matrix interferences in receptor binding assay is of particular concern for the analysis of drug in plasma because it involves plasma protein binding of both the label and unlabeled ligand. In figure 2.21, this is effect of protein binding on the binding of label and unlabeled ligand to the receptor in an immunoassay. This A control, B protein binding of label ligand, C protein binding of unlabeled ligand, D protein binding of labeled and unlabeled ligand. Interferences from related substances, that is metabolite, degradants, etc. is generally assessed by the comparison of IC50 value. IC50 values of potential interferences with the IC50 value for the analyte of interest. What is IC? Here log of L upon IC50. Thank you.